I just went and saw the new Toxic Avenger unrated in theaters, directed by Macon Blair and starring Peter Dinklage as Winston Goose, aka Toxie. Um, he's only in the first part of the film before Toxic Avenger goes through his transformation. After that, the bod is played by Luisa Guerrero, um, and she does a phenomenal job. Like full latex. We'll get into that. So, Toxic Avenger. So, should you go see it? Well, if you're okay with the premise, which is that a down and out janitor, Winston Goose, who can't catch a break, gets exposed to some toxic waste, and then transforms into essentially this like crime fighting green booger mutant person, rocking a radioactive mop to defeat his enemies. If you're okay with that premise, you should go see the film. The film's fun. Like it's really really solid. As a Troma fan, there are some things that I guess I was kind of expecting from just Troma films in general that I thought were lacking in this one, and I think it's because they had really good production value as well as like an established cast, a bunch of established actors, not like Billy Bob Thornton's one of his first films, Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Bacon is like award-winning actor. Same thing with Peter Dinklage. Um, Jacob Tremblay does a good job as his son. Taylor Page does an amazing job as the female lead. She has like a lot of good like deadpan humor and stuff, but gorgeous performance in general. Johnny Coyne plays this mob boss, and he looks, sounds, his delivery, his lines. He just like a perfect fit for like a mob boss. Kevin Bacon delivers at a Kevin Bacon level for such a ridiculous film with some ridiculous scenes in it. So, should you go see it? If you are a Troma fan, I highly recommend going and checking it out because I'm not gonna say it's the new age of Troma, but it's Toxic Avenger is like one of the flagships, if not the flagship, of Troma Productions, and to see it in a different way for a whole new generation is pretty cool experience. Like I said, though, I did kind of walk away from it, and it was not, especially going to see the unrated version. I guess I expected it'll be a little bit more over the top. So if we say that like Poultrygeist is like over the top up here, and like Class Nukem High and the original Toxic Avenger and stuff are somewhere down here, it's going to be below that. There is still some toilet humor and gore and stuff in it, and the gore is done extremely well. Mostly conventional effects with like a little bit of technology added in to clean it up, but it looks great. The bod, that suit that she's in, like all latex, full body, running around, jumping, fighting, looks phenomenal. She does a great job doing all the faces and the expressions, and just the acting and their performance is great. Even though it is Peter Dinklage's voice dubbed over top of it. Elijah Wood plays a really fun kind of character because he's like this like just creep is the best way I can put it. But his character is just funny in general with some of the things that he does, like manage a monster core band. But he's like a cross between like the Penguin and the Butler from Scary Movie 2. So a lot of the humor in the film is not as slapstick as you kind of expect from Troma stuff, where in some cases it's almost like the humor is getting is watching the reactions of some of the people watching it that are not familiar with Troma films. That's kind of the humor of watching some good old slop like that. A lot of the humor that hit for me had to do with dialogue, and so just outside the ridiculous premise of the film and the situations that they're in, there are some lines and deliveries and scenes where essentially it's like the characters in the film are acting like normal people in some of their responses and stuff. And there's just some good silly dialogue in there with some good back and forth, especially with like Kevin Bacon. There's some good one-liners in there and too. As a Troma fan, there was a lot of Easter eggs in there that I found just from watching it from one time and going in cold. Things like the location it's at is like Saint Roma, somethingville or whatever, but like the signs, a lot of them are faded, so it just says Tromaville. The high school is New Chemistry High, Newcomb High, Newcomb High. Um, there's even a tip of the hat to Lemmy because there's a Motorhead song that's played at a pretty cool moment. The song is Overkill. So that was pretty cool, considering he was the narrator for Romeo and Juliet. Rest in peace. So there was stuff like that in there. Um, there's also a few other little fun things that Troma does, like with product placement stuff. So there's like a bag of beef jerky someone's holding at one point, and they don't zoom in on it or anything, but I just happened to notice that the bag of beef jerky said beefy bulge on it. So just fun stuff like that. So overall, should you go see the film? If you're okay with the premise of it, it's actually a really good time. It's a silly film. It's got some fun in it. It's got some like gore, a little bit of nasty, like gross gore, like toilet humor. But the performances are really good. It's just an overall silly good time. So if you're okay with that, definitely go check it out. If you are a Troma fan and a fan of the franchise, I suggest going and seeing it, but I also suggest going in with a little bit of an open mind because the production value is so high, because of the cast of actors, it misses, it doesn't have that slimy, grungy, dirty Troma feel to it. The sets look fantastic. They did a really good job capturing like that punk rock spirit, that punk rock attitude that usually comes with Troma films. So I felt like they did a really good job with that as well. But overall, it's a pretty good time. I recommend it for most people. So go and check it out. It's worth your time while it's in theaters.